I hope I can put it out and get some feedback today. So before I start this, I had an interesting experience. So when I come back from Mongolia, I think it was 2009. So I took a longsong lesson. I can't really speak that I can't really sing longsong. But I lost my hearing at the time, and I went to doctors, and I did any kind of test, MRI and anything, but they didn't find anything, and nothing wrong with you. So I waited about 2 months. My hearing came back, and I could hear. So that was it. And during the pandemic, it wasn't like losing the hearing, but I had a very strong this ringing sound in my ear almost 3 months, and I was in agony. And I just didn't know what to do. And but it was resonance from my kind of sickness that I had in 2010. And when I asked to my singing teacher when I went back to Mongolia in 2010, and I lost my hearing, and do you have any idea what I did? And she said, you might have used wrong muscle, and you might have done something wrong when you were singing. So, but then I was thinking, and then she said, you don't have the physicality of a Mongolian. So I kept thinking about it, what it was. But then if you're thinking about Urtyn duu singers, that they're in countryside, they're singing really loud and with a really kind of amazing physicality, yet they never hurt their ears. So I thought that there's something about controlling their sound and mind at the same time when they're singing. So when I contemplate this, I found sensibility that can actually help their singing and physicality and meditation and mind and everything. So it's a still in process. So if I'm just not make sense, if I don't make sense, just let me know. Okay. Okay. So in Urtyn duu, everyone know that everyone's talking about how important the AMSC is, and when especially this breathing is so much nurtured during when they ride a horse and then living in the countryside. It was nurtured and trained for Urtyn duu singers. But also in conservatory when I were working together with them, and they often talk about this study to with chaganmok. So they're talking about, they're counting every single chaganmok and then going into chaganmok. That means you can hold your breathing until you actually say 32 chaganmok. So it's kind of extending the breathing here. So that's one of the techniques that singers use to nurture their breathing. And vocab, of course, is a practice. They're using vocab to nurture the breathing as well. And then this is what I heard from, I think, Smith talked about it too. And candle is like you have to put the candle right in here, and then make sure you blow out. But then the candle should be sustained. It shouldn't be turned off. So that's another way of controlling the breathing. So they were talking about this kind of like the method for breathing. Everyone knows that there's that guy in here. So there's that guy talked about this method of Urtyn duu. And in his book, he was talking about really emphasize how important the breathing is. So you can read it in Mongolian here too, right? And then he actually distinguished two important breathing in his book, and in his interview actually, and not AMSC and forget AMSC. So that's kind of hidden AMSC. No one knew that actually they are breathing during the singing. And another is if AMSC is open, everyone knows there is AMSC right there, right? So these two things, and then you can recognize when you listen to the sound and music. So one thing that probably everyone knows in here, when they sing, they have a full breathing. And then you holding it like 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe, but then you have to hold it right in here. You have to lock it. And then you don't walk, right? And then and then go real really slow. And that's the point of breathing. It's like, right? But you have to extend that breathing out, exhale. And in relation to not ska, it's okay. Go ahead. Yeah. So in relation to not ska, it's almost like a circular breathing. And in the player, they use this one. You're breathing, but at the same time, you the playing something. So you have to exhale, but you're breathing at the same time. It's a higher skill, but it actually happens for Urtyn singers. So these kind of things were discussed a lot among Urtyn singers and almost became the discourse among Urtyn singers nowadays. So take with that information, I try to connect recently developed sort of like meditation technique in the West. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is RFB. That's resonance frequency breathing. So basically what you need to do is here. It's a slow breathing, but you have to do 4 to 7 times a minute. So maybe we're gonna practice together. Okay, so it's almost like 4-4-4-4, but in 4, hold, put it, and we're gonna go out in 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. Okay. Inhale. Hold. Then exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like we can sleep now, right? Okay, so that's basically RFP, and it is used a lot in therapy, and especially music therapy. People are using this one nowadays. So the result of this one, according to this study by Oliver Hunt, it's a really kind of benefiting in generating parasympathetic response in human body, meaning that when we get nervous, or muscles and everything tighten up, and that's parasympathetic response, and that's the nerve system. But then we have to get the parasympathetic response, which is when we breathe, we kind of relax, right? So that's what this RFB does. And another thing that coming from meditation is the controlled breathing, pranayama. And a lot of you guys probably do meditation, and the meditation is kind of like, it's similar to RFB. It's controlling breathing. That's what we just did, right? So I put that on the singing, and I was thinking like, so let's see how this works. So I was listening to these, there's everything behind there, and with the 3 different singers, it's both coming from recording, and one is from Norubanjat, and second one is Namche, and the last one is Shadow. So it's exactly the same song, and you're gonna see later. If oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna play from here. So later you'll see. Okay, so you'll see later in here, everyone has a different improvisation. So Normandia will use different vowels and consonant, well, basically vowels, and elongation, and use that way. And Dante will sing this way. This is individual improvisation and how they kind of the separating and how they used and all those go in here. So here, when you listen to these, you'll see I just brought only when you count. It's not gonna be easy to count everything, but I counted how many breathing they do actually in a minute. And Murubanza, in 1 minute, she does 4 times, and Dante does a little bit more, longer, 5.5. And Xiaopeng does like 5 times. So when you listen to that, let's see. Ano? Perfect. This. So, so you can see, like, if you just see the time goes on, like it was 1 minute and then 4 times. So I did for same as Damche here. I'm just gonna play because it has a different improvisation and it might help. Same song. Different improvisation. A second breath. Finish. So it's kind of 6 times. It's not 5 we have, but 6 times. But what's interesting is, so he breathing earlier quickly, but then like he elongates so much, and 3rd times of breathing, and then when it comes down to in 1 minute, it actually become only 6 breathing, right? So the same thing is happening with Sharpton here too. Nice. I think I missed one actually, right? Yeah. So you can see like 5 times. So what's interesting is like the length of what they're doing it and the improvisation is different, but all have 4 to mainly 6. So this is only 700, but I was also doing other songs and experimenting that way, and it was mostly 4 to 6, or even if it goes faster, it's 7, which is kind of similar to what it applies to what I was talking about as R&B. The resonance frequency breathing is 4 to 7 times of breathing. So I don't know if it was intentional or non-intentional, but all singers were doing already that interesting breathing that Westerners now is coming as as part of music therapy. So with that, some of the musicians, I think Sunmin is actually Indian classical musicians, and he talks about he is a practitioner, and he himself actually does a lot of meditation, and he talks about in his book how this singing becomes the site where you can actually meditate and putting the intention and actually practice the breathing as well. So that's just a thought that I brought in here that I show you all before. So I don't usually use step notation because step notation doesn't present so much of this long elongation. That's what I do. But I usually put in a romanized alphabet here, how much the vowels are elongated in here. So sometimes when I write it, sometimes it's not clear. But you can see some of the top block is in here, and some of the bottom block in here. All those kind of things are coming in different ways. And when you see, I'm sure Mongolians take it for granted, and of course it's just vowel elongation. But I found recently in relation to this kind of meditation, there is vocal toning in music therapy and also in music, and meaning that is responding to some of the chakra. You know chakra, right? So chakra here and here and here and here, and these specific vowels are responding to the body parts. So, but these kind of vowels are always manipulated, always used in long song. I don't know. Still, I have to working together with the singers, and I have to ask the scholars and singers in what way they would choose these kind of vowels and how. That's my kind of question. But it's clear from how they sing is they're using certain vowels, really kind of stimulating the chakras, which makes them healthy, right? And which makes them actually being able to meditate, right? So I just came to, this kind of theory was already out in 1970s and 80s, and already out by a lot of actually composers in the West. But now if I'm looking back and try to connect this and how does it reinforce the health of the singers in that case. So, next one. So quick kind of conclusion, so doing this, I'm scanning the moon. I think this terminology was used by Delaware, but Johnson later kind of translated and explained. This is English translation would be breathing movement, but breath movement. But it's not really about breathing. It's actually, so this is coming from the Gustav interview, and it's whole thing, and he's explaining what it means in there. And then he explains, this is not really about the how to breathe, exhale, the inhale and exhale, but it is talking about in one breathing, how you can actually use different vowels, how you can make this kind of performance and cultivating your body at the same time with your sensibility. And so these kind of all those to make the declaration of Urtyn duu is not just random improvisation. I feel like there is much more connection to the health and spirituality, and that became really kind of part of the meditation. That's my conclusion. Thank you.
We have very small time, so just one or two questions.
Thank you so much. I just need to leave your session.
You have nothing to say.
And I would
Thank
like
you
to
for
say that
coming.
It's so interesting, and I hope that I have opportunity to discuss many questions with you later. Just one quick question about Chernobyl. Was it really that was used as just such an amazing thing? And I know that when it's with instruments like music, but if it's about singing, where the singing should be very well read, what folks?
It's amazing. Yeah, just ask about it because when I got this information from Gustav interview, and Patra was saying like also this is kind of like a circular breathing, and it's just like And then Dursalke said, that, yes, it is like that. It's like a wind band. And that's what they were saying. But at the same time, I was thinking same thing as you were thinking. You know, you can do with the instrument. You can breathing and then blow out and then you do circular breathing. That's kind of common thing, right? But with the singing, I'm not sure how it actually can be done. So, but maybe you can talk about more.
I agree that we will throw or overtone singing because
Yeah, overtone singing is possible.
Like instrument and
Right.
different words for breathing.
Right, right.
But for singing, such a
Yeah, like a folk song.
part of
Right.
It's
I know.
very-
Maybe that's my question.
And I ask very humbly, if next time it's happened that we participate in this conference, it's such a rare occasion for colleges to discuss.
Because it's
Next
to
session,
people who are
together
on
in one session, so this is-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Манай гэлэна нөгөө талдаа увшхааны тухай увшхааны Монгол юу альбог уртын дууд увшхааны дүрийг хэрэг хүмүүс сонирхох гэж хэлдэг юм. Ихлээр сонсоо тавхаас шохоо эгэлтэй сонсож байгаа. Сая сонирхолтой асуудал болсон битүү амьсгалын тухай гэнэ гэлэна битүү амьсгалын тухай асууж байгаа. Битүү амьсгалд ингээд нөгөө хөгжим бин бишгүй болно юм байна. Тэгээд нөгөө юу хөөмөдөр ингээс бас боломжтой гэдгийг Sunmin хэлсэн. Дуу дуулахад ингээд дуун дээр харин битүү амьсгал боломжтой юу гэдэг боломжтой гэсэн юм байна. Тэгээд Sunmin ихтэй тийм яг тэрийг нөгөө энэ жацгаар байна гацтамд бадраагаар хэнийг дөрөвдөгөөс юу авсан гэх ном байж тээ. Ястар авсан. Тэр ном дээр өөдөрчсөн үгээр битүү амьсгал шүү дээ. Дууны тухай ярьж байхдаа бадраагаар хэлдэг нэ. Дөрөвдөгөө харин тийм гэсэн. Тэрнээс илүү байхгүй тийм. So орноо.
So that's why
This is the whole thing. За өөрөө
circular breathing. Yeah. The pitons. Any comments, any criticism, input? Please. Because I'm in the process of still using my last chapter.
Okay, we have time after all the minutes maybe we can. Because we have now the timing is very should make you much than it.
Thank you.